Welcome to Ekcel Academy's YouTube channel. Today we will be looking at the differences, whatever they are, between the new and the old scheme, most specifically with respect to corporate and management accounting. When ICSI announced that they would be changing the scheme, I was really worried. What would happen to those students who would want to switch to the new syllabus? They would have to study from the scratch. Thankfully, the ICSI is such a wonderful body that they have made sure that the student community is not disappointed at all. They have not changed the syllabus at all. When you look at the contents of the syllabus, you will be surprised, or maybe not surprised if you know ICSI, that they haven't changed much. In fact, the TLDR of this video is this: there has been no change, there are no differences, hardly any, if at all there is. So if you are a student who is worried about shifting to the new scheme and worried about this particular paper, that is CMA, fret not. Change. You won't see any difference at all. In fact, you will be at an advantageous position. Because earlier we had corporate and management accounting, where corporate accounting was for 60 marks and management accounting was for 40 marks. Now, that management and valuation part has been deleted completely. There is no trace of that syllabus at all. But the corporate accounting part remains as it is, more or less. And instead of that management accounting, which was there for 40 marks, now they have gussified financial management, which was earlier there for 60 marks, and reduced it to 40 marks. That's it. Having said all this, if you still want to know the differences between the differences, if you still want to know the difference between the new and the old scheme, let's have a look at it. Be my guest. So now let us look at the syllabus in detail. On the one side, we have the study material of the executive program, corporate and management accounting, module 2, paper 5. So that itself is an indication as to that is the old syllabus. Wherever they are referring to module 2, it's the old, and in the new syllabus they no longer use the word module, but instead they use the word group. So one good thing is the look and feel of the new material is really very good. They have done that nicely. That is something which we have to commend the institute for. That's the only thing, unfortunately. Anyway, so now the name of the subject is also different. Now it's only corporate accounting and financial management. Earlier it was corporate and management accounting. So if you move on, let's go to the syllabus part here. Yeah, this is the main thing. So here also let me just open up the syllabus. So I have opened the syllabus side by side. You can notice both. So here the corporate accounting was for 60 marks. Here also we have the same thing for 60 marks. So now if you look at the detailed contents, we have introduction to financial accounting. We have pretty much the same thing here, whereas here they say introduction to accounting, but the contents of the syllabus is the same because we also have the same old stuff like bookkeeping, accounting cycle, double entry, etc., etc. All those things are here too. So there is no change in chapter 1. Then introduction to corporate accounting, records to be maintained by a company. Then again we have the same thing here also, introduction to corporate accounting, records of accounts to be maintained by the company. Basically the schedule 3 format, etc. All those things are here. Then in the old syllabus we had accounting for share capital immediately after introduction to corporate accounting, whereas here in the new scheme we have the accounting standards first. It's not as if these accounting standards is a new thing. Earlier also we had, in fact we had three chapters, that is chapter number 10, 11 and 12. All the three chapters were talking about the accounting standards one way or the other. So probably the institute thought, why do we have to have three chapters covering the same topic? Why can't we include all the three different topics in one particular chapter itself and call it simply the accounting standards? Good thing that they have done. So now we have the accounting standards here. So it looks like it's only the chapter number 10 here, but I'm assuming all the adoption, convergence, etc., is also mentioned. If you go into the chapter, you will actually see the whole table comparing the IFRS and the Ind AS, etc., so that is anyway there here too. No change. Then what else? Accounting for share capital is still in the new syllabus. It is in chapter 4, whereas earlier it was chapter 3. Then we have accounting for debentures, old and new, no change. Related aspects of company accounts, no change there too. So earlier we had this chapter 6 financial statements interpretation. Looking at the syllabus, we no longer have that chapter, that is financial statement interpretation, but instead we have financial statement analysis now. So that wasn't there earlier. So there is a new addition. Consolidation of accounts was there earlier too, and we have now all as well in the new scheme. Cash flow was there, it's there even now. Then we have forecasting financial statements, build forecasts of future balance sheet, income statements, and statements of cash flow. That wasn't there earlier, so that is a new addition here. So pretty much whatever we had earlier as part of corporate accounting, the same syllabus stays. In fact, they have deleted one and added one. So apart from that, it is pretty much the same. So they just change the names of few things. If you go deep inside, or if you look at the syllabus in detail, you will notice that nothing much has changed. Now part 2, here is where bulk of the deletion has happened. Earlier we had management accounting and valuation for 40 marks. Now that 40 marks is gone. We don't have this any of these chapters whatever we had earlier from 13 to 22. Instead we have the financial management now. Again, let me remind you that financial management right now is paper 8 in module 2, whereas now it will be part of group 1 and paper 4. So earlier this financial management was there for 60 marks, now it is for 40 marks. If you look at the contents once again, the same to same chapters. Earlier it was for 60 marks, now it has been reduced to 40 marks. That's the essential difference. In fact, let me just open up that syllabus as well. So this is the financial management, the present financial management, which is there for 60 marks. So now if you look at the nature and scope, again the nature and scope is there even now. Capital budgeting is there, time value of money is there. Time value was part of the capital budgeting itself, now it has been split into two different chapters. Then we have capital structure, capital structure. Then we have sources of raising long-term finance, which is nothing but cost of capital. Now again the same chapter is here. Project finance was there, that seems to be missing here. Okay, dividend decision, again it was earlier too. So Walter, Gordon, etc., all those things that we had. Working capital management was also there. Earlier it was chapter 7, now it is chapter 17. Then security analysis is now there too. Portfolio management again doesn't seem to be there. Economic value added, yeah, that is one thing which we do not have, I guess. Yeah, that is something which we do not have here. I'm sure somewhere they would have inserted that. Anyway, it doesn't seem to be here for now, at least. I don't notice that. Practical questions and case studies, again that is not here. Operational approach to financial decision, overview of costing, key concepts, basic costing, marginal costing. I think these are all just theoretical part. Operational approach to financial decision, that wasn't there earlier, so that is one addition. So once again, what we can notice here is uh, nothing much has changed, but in fact students would have to study the same syllabus more or less what we have now for 60 marks, and prepare for 40 marks for the same set of chapters, etc. So this is one thing. In fact, I just wanted to check the entire syllabus in detail. So I was curious as to whether they have included new problems both in accounts and what is that financial management. I was kind of disappointed because I realized that when we go to this chapter, which is this now, capital budgeting. Let me just take up this. Let me just bring it up 1 second. Cost of capital structure. Just give me a second. Let me just bring it up. Once again, you can notice that the presentation of the problems, it's actually nice now. Earlier we didn't have all these boxes and shading, which gives kind of a pleasant look, and it's easily it's presented in an easily understandable manner, that much is for sure. So here if you look at all these problems, there was one problem. This is the problem, I believe. Yeah, this problem in fact has been lifted from the CA material. whatever they have, the same problem has been lifted here. And in fact, I noticed at least 2-3 more problems which have been lifted from the CA material. Of course, they have changed the names, the rest of the things remain the same. So I'm sure they have done the same with other chapters as well. So as and when we get into the details of every chapter, you will get to know from where they have lifted. In fact, a few of the questions I'm sure are lifted from CMA as well. That is the cost and management accounting course. So doesn't matter if you lift from some other institute, just make sure that you explain the stuff properly, and take care of the copyright issues as well. I wonder why the CA Institute or the CMA Institute hasn't filed a copyrights case so far. Uh, yeah, that's all about the syllabus change with respect to CMA and yeah, financial management. I would say nothing much has changed. If you are worried that yeah, if you opt for new scheme, you might have to study from the beginning, please don't be worried. It's not at all required. You can easily switch to the new scheme, at least with respect to this syllabus. Oh, sorry, this subject. I'm sure that it's the same with other subjects as well, but it's kind of disappointing because we would expect something new when you change the module, when you change the entire structure. We would also expect you to change the contents so that one can understand in an easily one can understand in an easy manner. That hasn't been done, unfortunately. It's the same old material, but at least presented neatly, aesthetically. So that is one good thing which we'll have to commend ICSI for. Thank you, ICSI. That's all, guys. See you in the next video.